Firstly, I must state that this is not an attack on any of the people involved with the creation of this video, except for maybe Brian Dunner, who I am going to go off on a rant about a little bit later in this video. I would not like my 35 subscribers to go on and attack Arnhem Productions for this video. This is just a comedic review with hyperbole and fun things in mind. It also lands under fair use and copyright laws, so I'm completely in the clear with that one. Anyways, enjoy! A lot of you have probably caught on that I enjoy myself the medieval period. Not only are its armour and knighthood my passion, but so is the whole period. With its ties to religion, bigotry, alchemy, the plague and so many more things, it just draws edgy bastards like me to it. But I digress. Loving this period, I also hate when something even slightly tied to it is executed sloppily. Which brings me to this video. Let's start off with the first shots of this fan film. Look at them for a second and tell me if they look in any way bland or boring. If you say they didn't, then slap yourself in the face, because I'm here to tell you that, even though they look rather smooth and all, those shots are completely rubbish. Why, you ask? Well, firstly because of the colour correction. It's off. The colours are dim and bland looking, not vibrant at all, and it all gives a sort of cheap vibe to the whole thing. Next are the actual shots themselves.
What do we need to show them travelling?
Oh, just 3 shots of him walking in the forest and it'll be fine.
No, it's not fine. If you wanted it to look interesting, here's what you could have done. 1. Make a lingering shot, perhaps from behind the trees, looking over them at the main characters. 2. Make a first-person shot from one of the people walking. It would look rather fitting for the whole theme of this video, what with the game and all, and would have looked kind of fresh. In the fan film community anyway. Maybe even put someone in the bushes so that the audience could possibly notice them. But don't draw too much attention to them, because that would ruin the whole suspense, the whole illusion of someone being there. 3. Correct your bloody colours! The action. I'll let you look at it right now. Just a second. Just a couple of shots from it. Then a couple of shots from the anime. And then a couple of shots from another fan film that deals with sword fights. Do you see the fast pace used in the anime? Any of the brutal elements in that other fan film? No? It looks very bland now, doesn't it? It doesn't have a character, it doesn't have a thing of its own, it just looks boring. You can't really look at it and say it's well shot, it looks good. You can't really, well, I mean, I guess you can, there's a lot of people who do. But in my opinion, it all looks very bad. And will get worse as we Oh God! What? Oh God! What? Where are you running? Why? How? How did you just deflect that like this? Wait. Well, this guy's dead. Well, serves him right for wearing rugs for a fight. What a dummy. Yeah, just blindly and unstrategically charge at your opponents. Yeah, that's the smart move. That's stellar tactics right there. Just amazing. Very great, just grand. I'm loving it, guys. That's perfect choreography from the Arnhem Productions and the paid professionals there. And then there were 2. Oh well, they begin to fight and... Oh god! This is making me sick! How? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting me, you fan film piece of shit? And pose! Could you have spotted the difference? Of course you could! One of those is not like the other, isn't it? And it's the fan film. Look at how clumsy the moves are. How the weapons barely graze their armor and skin. Look at the slow, barely choreographed moves. It's all so bad. Now, I wouldn't have drilled on it so hard. Now, I wouldn't be so furious about this if they didn't themselves said that it was made by paid professionals. Holy shit! Like, how do you screw up the choreography so bad? Now, I'm not saying that the choreography or whatever, the fight scenes in Sword Art Online were very realistic. They were stellarly made and all that stuff. But in my opinion, it all looked very good. It all looked exciting. The animations were nice. The effects were very good, in my opinion. And the colours were just magical. That's what kind of helped me to enjoy that world even more than this one. It all looked so good. It actually looked like a fantasy setting. When here, all you have is just a forest and a field and a bunch of people just carrying random weapons. Now, I've given my advice on the previous one, and I'm going to give you some advice on this one as well. Please, just get some good choreographers. There are plenty out there, and they're just yearning to help you. Otherwise, I can conclude that the action in this fan film falls flat on its arse. The costumes. Again, plain awful. This, in my opinion, is where the fan film falls and flatlines. It's just dead at this point, in my opinion. They look absolutely terrible. From the hockey armor, knee and shin protection, to the rugs that were tied around a waist to simulate something along the lines of a costume. A Greek tunic? Are you serious? A shirt with a bloody chainmail hood? Can you be more lazy than this? Yeah, and that one will just protect you well. This is combat. Why are you wearing clothes like you're in a strip bar or something like that? What is this? And this one, the one that the main character is wearing. Look at it a little bit closer. For all my fellow eBayers out there, it should look kind of familiar. Doesn't it ring a bell? Well, let me help you out. Look at this. Perfect. The acting. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This acting is just absolutely horrendous. Because just look at some of the instances of the deaths of characters. Like, even during a death, you should act. Even if you're like a background character or whatever, if you need to die, you need to fall down and actually fall down like hard. Like hit the ground. Not like these pussies do it. They just, I don't know, they just lower themselves onto the ground. Which doesn't make sense to me. You're dead. You've received a fatal wound. Like, what the devil are you doing? They just lower themselves. The second is the acting of the commander or whatever. It's Brian Denner. Brian Denner is known to be one of the worst choreographers ever. And this is the part of the video where I really drill on him. Like, if you were the one who made the choreography for this video, then shame on you. Absolute shame on you. It's awful. It's amazingly awful. Anyway, as a commander, this character is absolutely awful, to be honest. He leaves his squad. He doesn't really give him any directions or whatever, or, you know, something to help them make tactically right decisions. And so they get picked off. Even though the red team follows the same thing. They're all individuals, which is wrong during a fight. You need to have a commanding officer. If you don't have a commanding officer, then you're going to just lose. Because an army or a squad that is disorganized gets picked off easily by the organized opposition. And this one is like, we will not run. Okay, that should be that should be pretty obvious that you will not run, because you just placed your hand on the hilt of your sword. What about just, you know, tell them some directions? I don't know, tell the people to hold the line, to not chaotically run into the enemy, to be organized, to follow his instructions. No, he will just say, oh, we will not run. Oh, perfect, absolute leading. Like, this is the leader that we should look up to. The music. It's bland, but enjoyable. Very forgettable, but so is the rest of this video, so I won't drill on it too hard. If it was made by a composer, but like an actual composer, then yeah, kudos to them. It really does sound like something from the anime. I will actually clap. They deserve it. Good job. The weapons. They look fine for a medieval film, but not for a SAO fan film. Look at the weapons from the actual anime. Now look at what people have done without paid professionals, all on their own. Huh, really makes you think, doesn't it?
And by the way, the armor. I mean, of course you could say that, oh, those guys kind of looted everything and that's why it looks kind of ragged and random and it sort of has this cheap-ish vibe to it. But the problem is, look at the armor from the anime. Look at it, just for a second. Alright? Okay? And now look at the armor used in this fan film. Do you think that they've in any way learned about the source material? Have they even watched the anime before making this video? I'm guessing that they have, because they have those symbols behind them and they have those HP points and whatever. But look at the costumes, like, just really look at them. And the whole thing is that it's not even difficult to buy this or make this. Look at this armor. It's just a couple of pauldrons and the rest is just a bunch of rugs with like symbols on them. That's it. That's easy to do. That's bloody LARP clubs do it better than you guys. LARP clubs! How low can you fall that LARP clubs can do armor better than you? Jesus Christ! And again, it was all made by paid professionals. Paid professionals, are they? Jesus Christ, fucking fire those people! They do not deserve the money that you've given them, because those costumes are absolutely awful. Please, next time that you do something like this, just do a little bit of research and try to make something a little bit more interesting and something that looks like it's from that world that you're parodying. Jesus bloody Christ. Conclusion. Beards don't make you look more brutal when you can barely control your sword during a fight. That is just... oh boy, those hits, those are just... That's good let down. Yeah, I just stole a joke from the Nostalgia Critic. Fight me. All in all, this video is a mess. A terrible one. Mostly everything from the color correcting, to the acting, to the deadline delivery, to the action, to the everything besides the beginning shot, which they kind of fucked up as well. And music is awful. Well, maybe the effects were decent. It flatlines. It falls flat on his face, and it's utter shite in my opinion. Besides those three things that I mentioned. Those are alright. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go make another video of my own. Perhaps it won't be as bad as this fan film. Thank you very much for watching.